you doing, everyone? Welcome to this episode of the Cajun Conservative Show. I'm your host, Isaac Hayes. I'm talking about life. I'm talking about liberty. I'm talking about the pursuit of happiness, and I'm showing you, my audience, and the world, that Cajuns do have intelligence. I hope you're having a good day, a good week. Happy holidays. You know what? I'm not going to be politically correct on that. I'm going to say Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We live in a society that they don't believe in saying Merry Christmas. They don't believe in saying, New Year. They're all right with New Year's, but Christmas, man, that's talking about Jesus. And of course, we can't talk about Jesus. It offends every religion out there. But the other religions can make fun of Jesus and offend us, the Christians. I never understood that. You have the holidays where it's focused on Christ, and that's offensive. We can't talk about Jesus. That's just showing that there's only one way to heaven. And I believe there is only one way to heaven, and that's through the Lord Jesus Christ. But a lot of people can make fun of Christianity, and we better not say them, because the Bible says you should turn the other cheek. So they use that as a license to pick on us. And I've seen this many times before, where you have TV shows like The Simpsons or American Family Matter, or not Family Matters, Family Guy, or one of them nasty, stupid cartoons on Fox, and they make fun of Christianity all day long, but they will never go ahead and poke fun at the Muslim community that I'm aware of. They will never make fun of other religions all over the world. It's just Christianity, and ladies and gentlemen, it just shows the fruit that they're who they're from. Let's just say they're showing the fruit of the vine that they come from. And we know the devil don't like Jesus, and he will use his minions to discredit Jesus and Christians. But guess what? Greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. Just think about this. If you're a Bible-believing Christian and you believe in Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, the devil trembles at the name of Jesus Christ, and that's who I serve. I serve the one that tells the devil what to do. So anyway, a few announcements before we jump up. We want to thank the sponsor of this show, Smith Truck and Equipment Sales. We will have their ad run a little bit, and you can hear a little bit more about them. If you're a truck driver and you need a truck and you're in the Acadiana area or in the South area, you can call them up, and Scott will get you situated. Also, Give-A-Derm and HairClub, thank you guys for partnering with us, and we hope that we're doing our part to make your company great as well. Also, an announcement, the week of Christmas, and which is next Monday, at the time, when this recording is put out, we're not gonna have a show. We're not gonna the next 2 weeks. We're not gonna have shows. We're not gonna have a show starting Christmas Day onward, and we'll be back in. We're probably gonna come back. I think it's January the 4th. January the 4th, I think is going to be our first show back. Correction. No, I would have to see how it works out. I have to look at my calendar. But 2 weeks, we're going to take a couple of weeks off. And I do this every year because it just gives me time to spend with my family. It is the holidays. I always say that if something major happens, I will be on the air. So don't worry. If you're like, well, what does Isaac think about this? If it's something major, I'm going to be on the microphone. We're going to make room. We're going to make a point to get here to talk about anything major happening. Normally around the holidays, we don't have too much. Also around this time, if you could help me out, during these 2 weeks, as long as I've been doing podcasting, I'm about to go on my 5th year doing podcasting. 4 years. Correction, 4 years doing podcasting. And ladies and gentlemen, always around this time, it is slow. Our numbers go down. Why? A lot of people are more worried about the holidays. And look, hey, I don't disagree with that. You need to focus on your family. You need to go ahead and spend time with them. If you can, just share the show. There might be somebody that has a little bit of time in their hands. Or if you can help me out like this, put the show on YouTube, Rumble, or the audio platform you're listening on, Spotify or Apple, and put it on and let it play. Let it play while you just listen to me in the background while you fixing the ham or the in our traditional Christmas dish is gumbo. So if you can go ahead while you cooking your gumbo, put on the Cajun Conservative in the background and help me out that way. Share it with a friend. And if this is your first time listening, welcome to the show. Always love having new listeners, and I'm excited. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and dive into the topic. And I was trying to figure out what I was going to do today, and I'm going to give credit to where credit's due. Mr. Scott Ford texted me this morning, and I'm not going to give no spoilers to what he's thinking, but I saw this story, and I thought it would be pretty interesting to talk about it. And so go check out Scott Ford at the Scott Ford Show on Rumble. Scott, love you, man. Thank you for being a faithful listener of the show. But I'm going to start off with this, with this story. So we hear from the left all the time how we need to be racially cautious, I guess you could say. And it's funny bringing this up. I talked about this last night with one of my friends. Disney Plus, and I've talked about this on the show also, always puts on a lot of older shows, they put up this warning how this movie could be racially diverse. But we leave it up here so you can talk about it with your family and you can watch the show and you can address what's going on. Like I said, it's hypocrisy in my eyes because they should just pull it down. If you disagree with it, don't play the show. But they know people wouldn't go there. But we hear this all the time on the left, how you have to be racially cautious. That's how I'm going to say it. To not offend minorities. We hear this racial equality, that all races are equal. All races should be treated equally. And if you have the slightest hint of racist thought, you're canceled. Why? Because you have to go ahead and acknowledge the minorities in this country, or you can't be racist. You can't go ahead and look down on other races. Now, these races, the races are the Asian community, the black community, the Hispanic, whatever, a minority. Just think of a minority. And if you go ahead and do something according to the left against this group, you're labeled a racist. You're labeled. You should not be on this earth. It is wrong. You shouldn't be thinking like that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you look, and we even go with one, even if you do something like an all-white dinner, let's just use that for example, you're labeled racist because you did not include another minority. And ladies and gentlemen, I made this statement already on the podcast, and I'm going to make it again. If you hate somebody for the color of their skin, you're labeled a racist. I'm sorry. And that is just not black, white, Asian. If that is a person, if you're a person that hates white people, if you hate them because their skin is white, you are labeled a racist in my eyes, because that is not right. You hating somebody because of the color of their skin is wrong. You should not do that. And now the left, in some of their philosophy, I agree with. Hey, racial equality, everybody matters, except one group of people, the white people. And I hate to say that, but ladies and gentlemen, that's how the left is doing right now. It's all the white people's fault. All the white people's fault. They should not be included. You should hold up the minorities and talk about their accomplishments and all that stuff. Now you might be asking, Isaac, why are you bringing this up? Well, it's because the Boston mayor is facing backlash over Christmas party excluding white officials. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Early in the week, Boston's mayor, Michelle Wu, faced some criticism because her office sent out an email for a Christmas party. Now, look, our youth group just had one. We have a Christmas party, and there's my brother. I saw some pictures on his Facebook page of their Christmas party that the company he works for, the company I work for, they always throw a little something together. It's just traditional that you have a Christmas party. And Miss Wu, nothing wrong with her having a Christmas party, but watch the details. Her office sent this out, then 15 minutes later sent an email retracting the invitation to a certain group of people. Why? And well, who's the people that were exclusive? It wasn't Republicans because she's a Democrat. If that would have happened, I wouldn't have no problem with it, I guess. But you're supposed to work together and all. But no, you know the people that were excluded from this party. Every Massachusetts elected official that was white. Now, ladies and gentlemen, she went ahead and defended her not inviting white people because she said the minorities needed to be lifted up. In some words, I'm not quoting her verbatim, but in her thought that the minorities needed to be lifted up because they are always looked down upon. Now she said that the white officials are invited to other Christmas parties, just not this one. This one is focused on the elected officials of color. She even went so bold as to send out a Instagram photo of 17 of her fellow elected officials and said, let me go ahead and read her quote. She says, "Last night was my turn to host the annual holiday dinner for Boston's elected officials of color. A special moment to appear that our affiliated group now includes leadership across cities, state, counties, and federal officers," Wu said in the caption of her social media page. "Throughout the year, we work to represent our communities with urgency and determination. And at the holidays, we took the time to celebrate and enjoy each other's company," the mayor added. Now, Wu did apologize for the email that was accidentally sent, but she said, "I can understand someone might be confused or worried if certain people weren't being invited at all. We're being left out of any type of celebration. But I assure you, everyone on the Boston City Council has got an invitation for multiple types of events and holiday parties." Woo, that makes it better. So she was criticized for this. Now, ladies and gentlemen, imagine, okay, just imagine. I mentioned this earlier. I'm going to mention it again. Just imagine that this was a white mayor that accidentally sent out an invitation and retracted and said, "Listen, I just want white people there. I just want white people at this party. Look, I love my fellow elected officials that are of another color or another race. I love them, and they're going to be invited to other parties, but just not this one. This is for the white elected officials of this state." You would have CNN, MSNBC, CBS, any other news. Look, I'm going to be honest with you. If you would have that happen, I think you would even have conservative news people not defending this and condemning this. But ladies and gentlemen, the mainstream media has not talked about this. And the reason I say that, and that's some confirmation, I talked to my dad a while ago. And I told my dad, usually when I'm doing a show or, I go visit with them, drink coffee, and I'll tell him about the story. And he said, I never heard of that story. The mainstream media is not pushing this. If the mainstream media talks about this, they're going to praise this, that white people were excluded from a Christmas party. Why? Because it's lifting up the minorities. It's showing how much they have gone through and how they have endured such persecution. And look, and granted, minorities have gone through a lot. But ladies and gentlemen, what happened to the whole speech of the left that racial equality is a thing in America where every race matters? Every person on this earth matters. Is it true? Well, according to some Democrats, not all Democrats, but some Democrats, no, it's not true, especially in the minority circles. See, some minorities, and you can name them, whatever one, believe it's all the white people's fault, and it don't matter if it was white people from the past. White people are white people, and they always say the same. So guess what? They all are bad. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna make a statement, and I might get some feedback from it. I might not. I don't know. But ladies and gentlemen, it is still racist to hate white people. Now, I don't know if this mayor hates white people. She has to work with them because her job isn't of more than just one group of people. But like even her, she's saying, we fight for our communities. Well, what about the white people? Do you fight for them as well? Or do you only fight for your minorities? And it's kind of funny, ladies and gentlemen. This is a point I want to bring out. It's funny how every time a story pops up like this, how it's someone from the left that preaches racial equality. We should embrace all races. We should embrace that. But this is the second time that I'm aware of, and it probably more, of a Democrat leader of a city or state or whatever that have invited only minority groups of people and left white people out, and you don't hear the media condemning them. They're praising them. But if you go ahead and see a Republican, and maybe not doing it on purpose, invite people, and it's all white people, you have Joy Reid, and you have Jesse Jackson, and you have everybody else running around, this is a racist, homophobic bigot. Why, Mr. Jackson? Why, Miss Reid? Because they only invited white people, them racist bigots. But when something like this happens, you don't hear Jesse Jackson, you don't hear Joy Reid, you don't hear nobody. Oh, look at this mayor. She chose the minorities to hold them up. Oh, I can't believe. It's so good. Oh, this is groundbreaking. Great job, Miss Wu. Instead of condemning it, I thought we lived in an age where racial equality was a thing. No. Only the Republicans get called out as racist, homophobic bigots. Because someone said something 20 years ago out of the blue. But a mayor that is bluntly just only asking for white. You know what? Look, Mayor Lightfoot from Chicago. I'm just thinking about Mayor Lightfoot had a press conference where it was only black reporters. Or some other race, another minority race reporter. You could not be a white reporter in that press room. Ladies and gentlemen, that's racist. What this lady did just to invite minorities and not invite white people to this thing, isn't white people, are they not a race? Are they not an entity? Or aren't there white people? Are they people? You wanna go ahead and you wanna highlight all the races. Well, you're missing one: white people. Ladies and gentlemen, and look, I'm going to quote my good friend Scott Ford on this. It's okay to be white. I was asked by my good friend, I can't think of his name at the moment. I did his show. I can't remember the name now. I'm going to think of his name. I was interviewed on a podcast. And it was a black conservative. And he asked me, he said, Isaac, are you proud to be white? Yes, I am. That don't mean I'm racist. That just means I'm proud of who I am. I don't have a racist bone in my body. What is a racist? Somebody that hates somebody for the color of their skin. And I don't hate nobody because of the color of their skin. I don't try to hate nobody. The Lord tells me not to hate. I got to love people. But this lady, we want to talk about other races. You're missing a white person. But you see, ladies and gentlemen, I'm considered a bigot for saying that. Ladies and gentlemen, it is still racist to hate white people. But you will not hear that on mainstream media. You hear it on podcasts like this, and I'm going to give credit to where it's credit's due. My good friend Scott Ford, my friends at Culper's Canteen Cup. You hear stories like this on our podcast. My good friend Michael Schwartz, Mike Calderese. You hear, and look, I'm bringing your names out there if you need good podcasts. You will hear stories like this, but you will not hear it on the mainstream media calling out the hypocrisy. When a white conservative does something, the slightest hit of maybe something racist, they want to call it out. But when a mayor bluntly says we're going to invite everybody else except the white race or white leadership, it's not called out on the mainstream media. And this is one of the problems in America. We are not calling balls and strikes. It's okay for the Democrats to do certain things and they get away with it. But Republicans and conservatives, nope, you don't get no mercy. And it's wrong. Ladies and gentlemen, it is still racist to hate white people. I will say that till the day I'm in the ground or until the Lord calls me home with the rapture of the church. But we need to call this stuff out. And if we don't start calling it out now, we're going to have more problems down the road. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and take our break. We'll be right back in a few moments, so please stay tuned. How you doing, everyone? Isaac Hayes here. I'm here to talk to you about Smith Truck and Equipment Sales. I've been part of the trucking industry for a few years now, and I know the importance of finding a company that won't just sell you a truck or piece of equipment, but will take the time to know you and help you through the process and checking in on you after the sale. That's why we are proud to announce our partnership with Smith Truck and Equipment Sales. Smith Truck and Equipment Sales is a family-owned and operated pre-owned truck and trailer dealership in Lafayette, Louisiana, who have been serving Acadiana for over 40 years. They offer full service, parts and accessories, and financing. They also buy used trucks of all makes and models. You can visit Monday through Friday from 7:30 to 5 at their location at 3010 Northeast Evangeline Thruway, or visit their website, SmithTruckSales.com. You can also give them a call at 337-234-0557 and let their friendly and experienced staff take care of all your truck and trailer needs. Smith Truck and Equipment Sales. Tell them the Cajun Conservative sent you.
Cleansed and made us whole. Not one hoof, not one soul.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the second segment of the Cajun Conservative Show. Moving on to the House, ladies and gentlemen. The House of Representatives have went home for Christmas. They took a week earlier than I did for vacation. Now the Democrats and the Senate are staying a little longer because they want to focus on a couple of bills that they're trying to pass. One being the aid to Israel. They're trying to push that through before they go home. It will not pass the House of Representatives unless you have something done at the border. That's what the Republicans want. But ladies and gentlemen, the House left after passing, I think, an $898 billion plan to for our defense. And this is the fiscal year of the Pentagon. This is where they get their money. And look, there's a lot of good things in this bill, ladies and gentlemen, but there is something in there that really got my attention. And I picked up the story from Fox News, but I also heard this on the Dan Bongino show that the Pfizer rule, the Pfizer article, which is the Section 702, where they got this on Donald Trump with the Pfizer courts. They got a Pfizer warrant without, I think with Donald Trump or something like that. But the Pfizer, this Pfizer provision, what it is that if the United States thinks that somebody is about to commit a terrorist act, they can go ahead and hear their phone conversations, and if it's an American, they could do it without a warrant. Now, this provision has been in the works for a while. Both the right and the left wants to go ahead and do modify it or get rid of it, whatever one. There's people like Chip Roy and other mainstream conservatives that want to just get rid of that because, ladies and gentlemen, it goes against your Fourth Amendment right. What is the Fourth Amendment right? The Fourth Amendment right says that the government cannot search you unless there's a probable cause. And even that, if you have a search warrant, and I got a lot of friends that are cops. I know Sheriff Beckett Bro from our neck of the woods. I could always call them and ask them to explain this to us. But the Fourth Amendment basically says that you cannot search an American without probable cause. And in the search warrant, you have to explain what you're looking for. You can't just go, hey, I got a search warrant and look over the house. Ladies and gentlemen, a lot of mainstream conservatives feel that this is wrong and goes against the Fourth Amendment. So why would a mainstream conservative, and look, I like Mike Johnson. I never met Mike Johnson. I've heard him on the radio multiple times. I live in Louisiana. I listen to the voice of Louisiana, Moon Griffon. and Mike Johnson has some good views, but why did Mike Johnson allow this to happen? Now, I know this is a defense bill and you have to compromise to get it passed and stuff, but the provision stayed in, and now as a short-term extension, they're going to pick this up back in March. But ladies and gentlemen, why did the Speaker of the House leave this provision in the building, in the pricing of the Pentagon? Now, and it also raises question. Now, look, ladies and gentlemen, for all you people that say, "Well, Isaac never criticizes the Republican Party," I'm about to. You might want to mark this episode down, episode 242, and mark the time. It's in the second segment at 3 minutes and 50 seconds that Isaac's going to criticize the Republican Party. Let's go. The Republican Party is supposed to be the party of the constitutional rights. They're supposed to be the ones that said, look, less government, more of the people. The conservatives and the Republican Party are supposed to be the people. Not all Republicans, but most. But I'm not criticizing all Republicans here. The ones that did right, you got to give them props. Chip Roy and all that. But the Republican Party is the party of law. They're supposed to hold to the Constitution. But they passed this bill. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I know it's a slim majority. I think 2 votes. But ladies and gentlemen, couldn't Mike Johnson say, look, if y'all want this passed, we're going to take this provision out? Now, it was a bipartisan bill. This is why I'm criticizing Republicans. It don't shock me the Democrats did it, but it shocked me that Republicans did it. I think there was 100-some Republicans that voted for the measure as well. Ladies and gentlemen, why didn't Mike Johnson say we're not going to pass this bill through until this is out? Also, you got to look at it, too, where they just in a hurry to go home, so they just passed the bill. If that's the case, that worries me more, because people in the United States Capitol that we hired to go up there to defend us, the American citizen, decided to leave because they wanted some vacation time. Ladies and gentlemen, this bothers me. Because also you got to realize, too, Mike Johnson was put in there because that you had a House Speaker in Kevin McCarthy, allegedly weak, that would let stuff like this pass. And now we got Mike Johnson, that's supposed to be the most conservative speaker in the House that we had in a long time, all of a sudden is passing this bill. And like I said, it asks another question: why Republicans are voting on legislation that defies the Constitution? Congress and the Senate is not supposed to pass a bill that infringes on the right of the American citizens. This does. And ladies and gentlemen, I know the argument. Well, Isaac, it's for national security. Really? Close the border, because we have foreign nationalists coming across the border, and our threat level of a terrorist attack is at an all-time high, according to the FBI. Close the border for national security. Now, the Republicans are pushing that, but the Democrats are like, oh, no, not that. No, that's votes. I mean, that's people. That's people we care. They're coming for a better life. But if you go in that argument, if it's for national security, close the borders. Oh, we can't close our borders. We can't be mean to people. But you're going to, that's infringing on the rights of Americans. That's fine. That's fine. And ladies and gentlemen, on the left side, it shows that they care more about other citizens of other countries than our own citizens of this country. But I criticize the Republican Party. The Republican Party, the House of Representatives should have stayed in there and said, listen, we're not going to pass this bill. Now, look, I know this is for national defense. But ladies and gentlemen, also on that $898 billion, that's yeah. And look, we need to defend our country. I'm not denying that. But ladies and gentlemen, to sneak this in, and this is a normal practice of politicians. They know a bill's going to pass, so they sneak something in that would not pass any other way. And look, they did this in Louisiana. Look, my good friend Danny McCormick, representative of the 1st District here in Louisiana, has been for years trying to pass a bill that would give the people the right to conceal carry without a permit. And last year, the best shot to get it through, the Republicans of our state went, hey, let's put this provision in it so we know it's going to pass. And Danny McCormick did the right thing. He said, I'm pulling the bill. And Republicans got their eyes were huge as rocks and like, what you doing? No, we're not going to put up the bill is for conceal, carry, and constitutional carry. But you are trying to throw something else in there that has nothing to do with this bill. And they do this in Washington all the time. And instead of the representatives saying, I'm going to pull the bill, they let it go through because that's a win in their column. It's sad that Republicans are doing this, and look, this is why you need to listen to shows like this, because I'm not biased. I will criticize Republicans and I will criticize Democrats. All right, moving on. They had a lot of Second Amendment arguments this week, or a lot of firearm arguments that I want to talk about. One being that Democrats AG declare assault weapons aren't protected by the Second Amendment. Ladies and gentlemen, if you read the Second Amendment, it talks about rights to bear arms. They don't mention what type of arms. They just mention arms. So it could be, arm. It could be a bat. I'm saying you have the right to defend yourself. That's the whole concept of the Second Amendment. God has given you a right to protect yourself. The Founding Fathers understood that, so they said, we're going to go ahead and throw that into the Constitution, and this is why it's the second one. Well, 20 Democrats disagreed with U.S. District Judge Roger Benzel when he went ahead and made a lower court ruling of a case that's going on that says that the Second Amendment is the assault weapons are, in their terms, assault weapons. The AR-15, which don't mean assault rifle, it means armored rifle. And others, the M5, and I think something like that. What they label as an assault weapon, they say this judge said that is covered under the Second Amendment. And these 20 Democrat attorney generals from all over the country, Colorado, Arizona, Connecticut, Delaware, D.C., Hawaii, Illinois, Maine, New York, Oregon, Pennsylvania, and other states, California being one of them, they said this ban that was done in California, and this is what they're arguing, does not violate the Second Amendment because assault weapons aren't protected under the Second Amendment. And their argument is that, well, they didn't have assault rifles back in the day. See, when the founders wrote the Constitution, all they had was muskets, and it took forever to load up. You had to be really fast if you was in the army. Some even on the left say, well, the founding fathers were alive. They wouldn't allow these guns to be brought. Ladies and gentlemen, the founding fathers had the technology of their day, and that's why they said, look, it's the arms. That's why they put arms. They didn't put guns. They didn't put musket. They put you have the right to bear arms. Ladies and gentlemen, assault well, let me say it like this. The AR-15, or in as the left says, an assault weapon, it is protected under the Constitution because it is a piece of machinery that you can protect yourself with. Do bad people do bad things with them? Absolutely. But it's not the AR's fault. It is the person behind the AR. We've already discussed this multiple times on the Cajun Conservative Show. Ladies and gentlemen, and these so-called attorney generals who are lawyers, 9 out of 10, to come on and say that this is not protection under the Second Amendment, they need to have their law degrees pulled away from them. Because clearly they don't know what the Constitution says. Oh, yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. We live by it. No, you don't. No, you don't. Not to make a statement like this. These people need to get their head examined. And ladies and gentlemen, I quoted this earlier about talking about the House and not infringing on the rights of American citizens. These 20 AGs need to be pulled from their posts because they are proposing a rule or trying to endorse a ban by California that is infringing the rights of American citizens. And this is going. I hope this is going to the Supreme Court, and I hope the Supreme Court does what's right and say, no, this ban is unlawful. And ladies and gentlemen, they're not the only one. The state of Illinois has put a gun ban on the books that has a ban high power semi-automatic weapons. Ladies and gentlemen, the governor of Illinois, who is extremely leftist, by the way, has signed a law that banned semi-automatic weapons and that you can't carry them. If I'm not mistaken, the bill signed by Democrat Illinois Governor J.B. Paskin in January includes penalties for individuals who carry or possess, manufactures, sells, delivers, imports, or purchase any assault weapon or 50 caliber rifle. Now we have to ask the question, what is an assault weapon in the eyes of the Democrat Party? No Democrat can give me an answer. But why they went ahead and banned semi-automatic weapons and 50 cals? Now, why am I bringing this story up is because the Supreme Court has allowed the Illinois law to stay in place while it goes up to the courts. The NRA went ahead and filed a motion that would go ahead and, well, the National Association for Gun Rights, correction, not the NRA, they wanted an injunction against the state and say, look, can these people have their guns? Now the Supreme Court says, no, we're going to let it go through. Y'all fight it within the lower courts. This is going to be a long battle, but ladies and gentlemen, people in Illinois are being infringed on their rights because they cannot carry a firearm. They cannot go ahead and defend themselves if they need it. How are you going to get a gun to your house if you can't carry it, if you can't transport it? Ladies and gentlemen, this is the left. The left is trying to impose laws that are infringing on the rights of American people. When you have 20 AGs say, no, it is not the Second Amendment don't protect assault weapons. And you have this governor that believes he's God and says, look, you don't have the right to protect yourself. I'm banning semi-automatic weapons and I'm banning 50 cals and you can't carry them anywhere in the city or in the state for that matter. That is infringing on the rights of the American people. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and go to the highest office of the United States of America. We have to talk about Backwards Joe. This article was written 5 days ago. This is an older article, but I left it in my stack, and it's funny how it fits through what happened this week. The NRA tortures Biden and men for plans to change rules for gun buyers and sellers. The National Rifle Association lane blasted a proposal from the ATF that the gun rights group says could unjustly criminalize Americans for selling a firearm and constantly creating serious confusion for legal gun owners who engage in firearm transactions. Like right now, private citizens can make transactions and sell guns. Now, you're not supposed to sell a gun to an individual that is a felon, but, you know, if me and Joey Bag of Donuts down the road say, hey, I got, you got this gun, you got this gun that I like, I got a gun you like, let's trade, let's go ahead and sell, let's do something like that. That is a private transaction. The government, to my knowledge, I could be wrong. If you are a lawyer, please let me know. But if Joey Bag of Donuts has a felony, I can't sell him that gun. That I know for sure. But the Biden ATF proposal rule is just another attempt to diminish our Second Amendment right with a potential to unjustly criminalize everyday Americans for engaging in lawful firearm transactions. The NRA/ILA Executive Director Randy Kincher exclusively told Fox News Digital in a statement. The rule bluntly discouraged the recent NRA-backed Brune rule on the Second Amendment. It also creates serious confusion amongst lawful gun owners who buy and sell firearms legally for virtual purposes, from collecting to self-defense. Ladies and gentlemen, the Biden administration wants to propose a rule that discourages people. They don't discourage. They're telling people not to sell firearms between private people. Ladies and gentlemen, this is an infringement on the people's right of their Second Amendment. And ladies and gentlemen, this is another topic that needs to be addressed. When you have a whole political party that are going behind the American people's backs to take away your rights, this isn't just the Second Amendment either. Look, the Democrat Party is the party that told Facebook, told Twitter. We know this through the Twitter files. We know this through the Facebook explosion. We know this, that there's proof now that the Biden administration couldn't go to Facebook or go to big social medias and tell them watch this. So they went to college professors or colleges that told Facebook and other social media accounts to, hey, don't push this, but push this. That came from the Democrat Party. And for the life of me, I don't understand why people in this country still vote Democrat. I can't understand it. Now, the wacko leftists that believes that you should take away guns, and if we take away guns, we're gonna have utopia. I can understand them voting Democrat, but the rural areas of America, people that like to hunt, people that cherish life, but because they have a D behind their name, they feel obligated to vote for backwards Joe and dumb nut Democrats. That they'll be the first ones they'll take their guns away. They're the first ones to take their free speech away. Ladies and gentlemen, the Democrat Party is trying to take your rights away. And the best thing you can do is vote conservative. Don't vote Republican. Vote conservative. That's a big difference right there. Because you see, there's Republicans that are really Democrats. Look. Should I go there? Yeah, I'm going to go there. Like my senior senator of Louisiana, which in 2026, I hope is out of there, Bill Cassidy. Bill Cassidy, since he voted to impeach Donald Trump, has been really voting on the left side for a lot of issues. That is a Republican in name only. We call them rhinos. That's why you should vote conservative. God bet you 9 out of 10, a conservative, a true conservative, is going to be on the side of the Constitution, not the party. And this is why you should vote conservative, not vote Republican, vote conservative. To stop people like the governors of California and Illinois, to stop the president of the United States from trying to infringe on our rights. We need to execute our rights as American citizens and go vote in 2024 to remove the president from office and get Ron DeSantis, Nikki Haley, Donald Trump. You know, I'm not going to say Vivek or Christie because I don't think they're going to be there. But at the same time, I hope they're not president either. We need to vote somebody in that's going to change this nation and bring us back to the way of the Constitution and also God's word. If we stay in this bubble, the Democrats are still going to go ahead and take your rights away. And they're going to do it slowly. And look, if your rights are taken, they will never come back. I promise you that. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and take our final break of this show. We'll be right back in a few moments, so please stay tuned. How you doing, everyone? Isaac here, and I'm here to tell you about a great company called Give-A-Derm. There's a lot of skincare products out in the market today, but none like Give-A-Derm. Give-A-Derm is a great American Christian conservative company that prides itself in making skincare products that will help your skin to stay healthy. Not like other skincare products that have toxins and chemicals that can hurt your skin. Do you know what goes on your skin is in your bloodstream in 30 seconds? So you want to be careful what you put on your body. That's why Give-A-Derm products are made with all natural ingredients to keep your skin healthy. My family has used Give-A-Derm products and we love it because it works. If you would like to try Give-A-Derm and experience this great American-made product, go into the description of this episode. There you'll find a link to Give-A-Derm and see what they have to offer you. At checkout, use the promo code BGSmedia10 to get 10% off your product. Thanks, guys.
You're my peace of mind. When this old world seems to get me down.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the third and final segment of the Cajun Conservative Show. Once again, just a reminder, Christmas and starting Christmas and the week on until the week after the first week of January, we're going to be taking 2 weeks off. So starting on Christmas Day, the 25th, no show for the next 2 weeks. And then we're going to start off 2024 with a new logo and we're going to start things off fresh another year, start the year off right with yours truly, the Cajun Conservative. I'm excited. See what God has in store. Once again, please hit the subscribe button and follow button. It helps me out more than you know. Let's defeat the algorithm. TikTok, I'm trying to get to 1,000. My goal is to hit 1,000 in 2024. I could probably do some Facebook, some TikTok lives of the show. So if you're on TikTok, you can watch it. And we'll see what happens, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So, again, talking about Biden. And look, this show is pretty weird. I haven't mentioned Biden a lot just in the last segment and the start of this segment. The Biden administration finalized the most restrictive offshore drilling plan in U.S. history. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The Biden administration just released they finalized Friday. They finalized their plan to dramatically curb the number of offshore oil and gas lease sales over the next 5 years, as it continues to aggressively push the Green Energy Department. This is from Fox News. The Department of the DOI, I'm going to call it, I can't say the other word, a five-year offshore and oil and gas leasing program scheduled just 3 Gulf of Mexico lease sales through 2029, making the fewer numbers of sales ever included in such a plan, which the agency is mandated to issue partially. According to DOI, holding the sales will enable future offshore wind leases under the Inflation Reduction Act provision that tenders to the two. Ladies and gentlemen, you know why Biden? Look, first off, 3 wells in the Gulf of Mexico. And look, again, they're holding this for windmills. Like, wind is going to help us out. What if we don't have a windy day? Everybody's going to be in the dark. But ladies and gentlemen, this just shows that that Biden does not care about America. Because I've asked the question, what about China that's building coal factories on top of coal factories? Will our portion of the world not burn up? But when China's, would they burn up because they ain't energy independent? They're not worrying about the environment. See, and that's what I don't understand about Joe Biden and other whack pot Democrats. We need to save our planet. We got to stop the emissions from going in the atmosphere. What about China? We hope our emissions would... No, you don't hope our emissions. Ladies and gentlemen, China's loving this because as we go ahead and turn to battery-operated cars and energy-efficient, batteries and run on windmills, they're building up their armies. Ladies and gentlemen, look, I heard about this the other day. There's an electric tank they're trying to push in our military. Now, I think it only lasts for like 4 hours. Could you imagine America being in the heat of a battle with an electric tank and the battery dies? And you have China or you have somebody else that is using diesel that can last for 8 hours, 9 hours, or whatever the time frame is. Hey, their batteries died. Hit them, boys. It just don't make sense. And look, ladies and gentlemen, I remember when Biden was running, he was the moderate Democrat. No, he's not no moderate. He's pushing this green initiative crap that is hurting our nation. And look, a lot of people, the president does not affect gas prices. Really? You know, if he put 20 of these rigs in the Gulf of Mexico, our gas prices go down? That is not true. Really? Let's go back to the past administration, under the Trump administration, that said, drill, baby, drill. We were energy independent, and our gas prices were, over here in Louisiana, under $2. Now, I know every state is different, so, I just, ladies and gentlemen, come on. Our country is facing low wages, high cost of living. At the end of the holidays, probably high gas prices. And all the president can do is like, we got to save the planet. Let's put more windmills in the Gulf of Mexico instead of rigs. Ladies and gentlemen, look, I remember I saw a video the other day of one of them windmills catching on fire. Do you want that for the United States of America? Again, 2024, we need to vote out Joe Biden if he's the nominee. I'm just saying. All right. Senate staffer caught filming gay sex tape in Senate hearing room. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. An amateur prono person shot a congressional staffer in a Senate hearing room, performing not too good clean content. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the last I've heard, this staffer hasn't been fired. This staffer has not been, according to this article that I got a couple of days ago, has not been identified, but probably has been identified already. To my knowledge, has not been fired, has not been prosecuted, and nothing has been done to this individual for clearly disgracing our Capitol. And ladies and gentlemen, it is sad. It is sad. You know why? Because you had God knows how many people on January 6th that ran to the Capitol. And they followed people inside. They shouldn't have done that. And they disrupted a hearing. They disrupted the electoral count. They shouldn't have done that. But most of them were walking around being peaceful and are sitting in jail today. Why? Because the main argument of their case is that they disgrace the Capitol building, and they did not respect the Capitol. Ladies and gentlemen, what is more disrespectful than a person, a Senate staffer that, yes, was allowed into the building, but allowed a camera to film him doing sexual acts on a desk? How more disgraceful is that? And then to only get a slap on the wrist. Now, we don't know if it was a Republican staffer or a Democrat staffer, but I really don't care what party it was involved. They should fire this dude. And like I said, I haven't gotten no news articles on it. Usually that means they didn't do them nothing. This person should be fired and should be put in jail. But we live in a country now that looks on this and laughs. Ha ha ha! Look at he did. Ha ha! Instead of doing like me, saying how disgraceful. No respect for our country. No respect for our entities. Nothing. This dude did this and didn't face any consequences for his actions. Ladies and gentlemen, we live in a sick world. This person, and like I said, he maybe was fired. I don't know. But how sick you have to be to have somebody film you doing that on a Senate desk. Now, granted, ladies and gentlemen, if I was the senator that sat at the desk, I'm like, hey, this clean. Put some extra bleach on this, please. But it's disgraceful. Look. Not all staffers are probably like this, but really? This is your job. And also, like I said, if this was done anywhere else, they would be put in jail for indecent exposure. I hope this person goes to jail. I hope the person that did the filming is for a porn site, apparently, that did this goes to jail as well, because they disgraced the building of the Senate. Now, also on that note, was it lawful? Why do I say that? Did this staffer let this video photographer come in there and take these pictures without a pass? If he did that, that's a whole nother story, is how secure is our Capitol? If this man could have paid somebody to come in there just to film him doing sex acts on a desk, what if a foreign country say, look, we want to go into the Capitol and do, create a terrorist attack or something? How secure is our building? All they have to do is pay a staffer and he lets them in? These are questions that need to be asked by this. It's not, look, it's disgusting the act itself, but how secure is our building? We also got to ask, how thoroughly are they doing background checks? How thoroughly are they looking at these people? Ladies and gentlemen, if this is the best they could have hired for the Capitol, God help us in America. And look, the whole purpose, why did this person do? Did he like that senator? He didn't like that senator? Was it just for clicks on TikTok and social media accounts? I don't know. All I can say is disgraceful, and this person should be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. But apparently he wasn't a MAGA supporter. If he was a MAGA supporter, they would have threw him in jail right away. All right, let's move on. Daily Wire writes an article, and it's titled "Shameful." Video goes viral of LeBron James ignoring sitting down during the national anthem at son's USC game. Now, I didn't know LeBron James' son was in USC. I don't follow LeBron James. I think LeBron James has issues. But the NBA star LeBron James is taking heat over online for walking into his son's college basketball game and taking a seat while the national anthem was playing. The 34-second video clip, which notably does not show the entirety of the playing of the national anthem, went viral, racking up more than 3.9 views on X in under 24 hours. Most commenters were displeased with James's action, qualifies them as disrespectful, though a lockstep with the baller's past actions and comments about the USA. So, ladies and gentlemen, what they talk about the last comments? Well, LeBron James made comments on America, how like the Russian basketball star Brittany Garner, when she was in Russia being a prisoner, James made a comment. Now she can feel like American has her back. Detained in Russia at the time shouldn't. So last year, James suggested that the WNBA star Brittany Garner, who was being detained by Russia at the time, shouldn't even want to come back to America. Now, how can she feel like America has her back? James said, I would be feeling like, do I even want to go back to America? Why? Because America was trying to get her out of there, but at the same time, the Russians wanted a deal. And it happens all the time. But then look, the president did in February 2022, she was released. He fought more. There's still Americans stuck in Russia that's in a prison that are being mistreated, and like President Biden don't care about them. But because this was a woman basketball star, she went. That's a whole different story. You can go back in February and listen to my tapes about it. But ladies and gentlemen, I said tapes, showing my age. But ladies and gentlemen, James also 2 years earlier prior to that claimed the U.S. was a racist and oppressive country. So does it surprise you that LeBron James sat down for the national anthem? LeBron James, if I'm not mistaken, also defended Colin Kaepernick when Colin Kaepernick did the same thing. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my problem with LeBron James not respecting our country. There is basketball in Europe. There is basketball in Germany. There is basketball all over the country, all over the world that he can play for. Why don't he move there? Because by him sitting down, and his past comments show that he does not love America. LeBron James, to do this, to sit and not honor America, shows me he does not love this country. But you know why he's here? Because of the freedoms of this country. Now, granted, his First Amendment right gives him the right to sit down during the national anthem. Okay, look, I'm on Brothers Just Searching. We talk about cults and other religions. The Jehovah's Witness, not to pick on Jehovah's Witnesses, but Jehovah's Witnesses believe they should not put their hand over their heart, take off their hat, or respect the flag that's behind me, or respect this country. They don't even believe you should be drafted. Why? Because they think it's an idol. But it's funny how they want to live here and express the freedoms that you have here. Ladies and gentlemen, look, just that alone, you should respect this country. You should respect this flag. Oh, but it's oppressive. It's this, it's that. Really? You think we're really oppressors? Go to Iran. Go to Russia. Well, he won't go to Russia because he just saw how Brittany Garner fought over there when she had drugs. Drugs. Over here is a misdemeanor. Well, most of them, not all of them. But LeBron James not sitting for national anthem, it does not surprise me. Now, do I think it's disgusting? Yes, he does have a First Amendment right to do that, okay? I'm not going to dispute that. I'm not going to debate that. He has a First Amendment right to do it. Should he do it? No. He should be an example. But he is one of the problems in America right now. Why I'm saying that? Because he's trying, a lot of young people look up to LeBron James. And all he's doing is showing American kids not to respect our country. And if you don't have your way, you sit down and you boudet. And look, I can understand. Look, I never met LeBron James. I probably would never meet LeBron James. If I had that opportunity and we talk politics, I would ask him this question. You know, LeBron, this country made some mistakes. It did put your ancestors in chains. But at the same time, it took a white Republican president to free you. That's and you're leaning on Democrat policies. The Democrat Party didn't want the black people freed. The Emancipation Proclamation passed with a Republican majority, and every single Democrat said no. But today they want to go ahead. The Democrats. LeBron James needs a history lesson. And for him to disrespect look, whatever team he's with, I think it's the LA Lakers. They should tell him, hey, you're cut. They won't do that. They're a progressive team, but to sit down during the national anthem, and this is why I don't watch LeBron James. I can't say I don't watch basketball. I don't like watching LeBron James. Ladies and gentlemen, I have an issue with a person that wants to discredit America like that. All right, one more story before we end today, and I think this is a very important story to bring out to you, the American citizen. We already know there's a border crisis. Credit to News Nation. News Nation they report on both sides. Like I said, they have Bill O'Reilly and Chris Cuomo, so you kind of have to find that middle ground. But Newsmax, Fox News, Daily Wire, Breitbart, Daily Caller, you name it, conservatives, the Cajun Conservative Show, we go ahead and we talk about this issue, that there is a border crisis and that there's more illegal immigrants coming over. Now, to be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen, I don't want the illegal immigrant to come over, but if it's true, if it's a family, a man that says, look, I want to get my family out of this chaos, I'm going to move to America, they're not a threat. Okay, they're not a threat. When a family comes over and says, look, we want to make a better life for ourselves, I'm tired of my family suffering, let's go to America, and they come here and they're law-abiding citizens, yes, it's wrong they're here, but those are not the illegal immigrants that bother me. Yes, if they get caught, they need to probably go back, but at the same time, there's provisions and stuff like that. America is gracious to people like that. All right, now that person would say, look, let me do it legally and try to get here legally. But I'm not worried about the law-abiding ones that come here. Yeah, they're legal, but at the same time, they're not a threat to our national security. They're not a threat to do harm. I'm worried about the people that are coming over that want to hurt us as a nation and want to bring harm. This is why I'm going to bring up Sean Hannity's graphic. I don't have not come up on the screen, but where he talked about people that are coming over the border besides Mexican immigrants. Iranians, Afghanians, Palestinians, you name it. There's tons of people that are crossing over that border that do not like the ideology of America, and they want to destroy it. That's a threat. This is why I say we need to close the border. Now, President Biden and his administration apparently don't want to close the border because they're thinking votes. I know that's what they're thinking. Now, we are at an all-time high for a terrorist attack. I have an article here. I just saw Lindsey Graham says he's scared that we have a 9/11 attack again or some type of attack like that because of the border. Ladies and gentlemen, it's bad. Now, why am I bringing this up? Well, according to the Daily Wire, 10 IEDs found at the U.S.-Mexican border as feds warn terrorist level remains high in the report. Multiple IEDs were recently discovered at the U.S.-Mexican border as the U.S. official continues to warn that the risk of a terrorist attack in the United States remains high due to the war in the Middle East. Fox Business report that the federal government enforcement sources told a internal safety alert went out this week that warned that U.S. Customs and Border Protection officers to have a higher state of alertness after the Mexican military seized 10 IEDs at the border. The warning said officers should exclusively exercise extreme caution and should report any possible armed subjects approaching the border with possible explosive devices. Ladies and gentlemen, we don't have a border problem according to the left. The Mexican government found 10 IEDs. Now, thank goodness they told America, hey, watch out. But ladies and gentlemen, there's people passing with explosives now. Look, fentanyl is bad. I understand. The cartels, they're bad. But now they're passing over with explosives? Are they doing that for a good, friendly New Year's Eve party? No! People are crossing over our border right now. They try to pass over with this, apparently, with this, to hurt Americans. And this is what I don't get with the Biden administration and Democrat baboons. That we don't have a problem at the southern border. Yes, the number's high, but we don't have no problem at the southern border. You have more Democrats fighting to take away our Second Amendment rights that will protect us from these people that are crossing over the border than them trying to protect us and close down the border. Ladies and gentlemen, why ain't AOC at the border crying, ha, 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 now, when we have threats coming across our border? And you know the most ironic thing about all this as well? Like I said, the Biden administration. Well, Joe Biden, backwards Joe himself. The FBI has told him, I know they have, Mr. President, the terror level is high. The war in the Middle East has amped everything up. We need to stop people from coming over. Can you close the southern border? I don't know if they told him that, but I'm just saying, look, Mr. President, the terrorist right is high. We need to do something at the southern border. And you know what this backwards Joe does? We will talk about that. First, I need to tackle the climate. I need to stop drilling in the Gulf of Mexico so we don't all burn up. Or are they going to worry more about, as I was watching earlier, this ain't just the president, but all Congress. Saw a news article on Channel 33 earlier, which is NBC, that Congress is fighting over which type of milk children should drink in school. One from a cow. That's my opinion. But ladies and gentlemen, we got, like I said, I was talking about that before the show. We have debt hitting $38 trillion. We have a southern border that they found 10 IEDs with. You have people crossing on this border that's not from Mexico, from Palestine, Afghanistan, Iran. Yeah, and they're fighting over what type of milk kids should drink in school? Don't tell me the federal government don't have their finger on everything. My goodness, the Congress is worrying more about milk than the threats of in our country. God, help us, please. Ladies and gentlemen, again, I know the election's a little under a year away. 11 months. First, the Iowa caucus happens in January. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to put our big boy pants on and vote for a new leader. Congress is more worried about milk. Our president is more worried about the environment. Because we might blow up in God knows how many years. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm stunned. Congress is more worried about milk than 10 IEDs at the border. Ladies and gentlemen, pray for our nation. Because this right here, it makes me sick. Our border, we have a border crisis. Our border is unsecured. We have a president and a president that's more worried about the environment and windmills. And a Congress that's more worried about milk. Makes me sick. Milk don't. Congress does. With that being said, that's going to end this episode of the Cajun Conservative Show. Again, thank you for listening to this show. If this is your first time, welcome to the family. I hope you're stuck. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button. If you're on YouTube, hit the follow button. Hit the bell button, and that tells you every time a new episode comes out. Leave a comment. That helps me out, ladies and gentlemen. You comment, you engage. That sends out that tells the algorithm, hey, people are engaged. It's also for Rumble and for the audio podcast side, if that's Apple, Google, Spotify, whatever. Please help me out. This show is growing, but I want it to grow faster. If you're on TikTok, go look me up at the Cajun Conservative and follow me on there, and I put clips out every so often. With that being said, again, thank you. God bless you. Happy holidays. If you're off a week right now, hey, bless you. Enjoy your week off. And remember that Jesus Christ is King, and he's coming back, and he's coming back soon. So don't be faint of heart. Jesus has already overcome the world. If you just want to know Jesus, your Lord and Savior, reach out to me. I'll tell you how to make Jesus your Savior and heaven your home. Until next time, be blessed, be encouraged. You have a good one.
And he is the